I'm not making any money talking these days. Good Christ, 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 Christ. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Still am. I guess I am a decent guy because I'm a fucking jerk, and I'm not a jerk. Apparently, I'm a dick. I'm not an awful guy, but I've done so much ridiculous stuff. Man, I'm an awful guy. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast, being filmed as we speak. Will this make YouTube? Who knows? I don't know. I will tell you that I'm here in Lily's room, and I'm looking over. We had a fan on a second ago, and there was a raging controversy about whether or not you could hear the fan on the broadcast. And by broadcast, I mean recording of this show. I'm not being broadcast to anyone. Unless someone drives by with like a pirate radio. You know what? You could do that. If you guys got Lily's address, you could park outside with a pirate radio scrambler and listen to the show as it's being done. How great would that be? I think you would love it. I think you would love every single second of it. But here I sit in Lily's room, and I cannot believe it. I see what is possibly the longest string of anal beads I've ever seen in my life on her bedroom door. That is, I mean, they're gaudy and they're pink, but that can't even imagine. That looks like enough anal beads for like a high school marching band. I don't know, and I don't know why that was the analogy that popped into my head. I don't know who. Seriously, when you've seen a high school marching band, have you ever thought, man, I wonder how many anal beads it would take to go ahead and fill up that high school marching band? Oh, sad. We're still being filmed. I just had a raging battle with young Lily because she has her camera, and I don't. Is that going to go up on the YouTubery?
No.
What? No.
No.
I was funny, and I was glib, and I was looking at the camera. All right. She was filming. I don't know if she's just practicing the filming.
Yeah,
I don't know.
practicing for later.
That's what it was. Sure, practicing holding the camera so it doesn't look like she's filming me from the end of a hallway like fucking Hitchcock. Uh, and if you listen back to that sentence, folks, you'll hear I said like fucking Hitchcock. I got to tell you, folks, something. I don't know if I'm too happy with you and your powers of observation. I'm going to say that right now. Here's the thing. I was going to make it a contest, and Lily said, no, don't make it a contest because you'll have a lot of fun with it next week talking about all the people who noticed. Unfortunately, nobody noticed. Nobody. I didn't get one email from you people noticing anything. And what were you supposed to notice? I'm going to tell you right now, folks. Episode 6, year 2 of the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast was fuck free. I didn't say fuck once in last week's episode. At about the 20-minute mark in my own brain, I went, you know what? You haven't said it. Just keep going. Just don't say it. And I mean, I didn't use it, not even in passing, and not as an adjective, not as an adverb. I didn't dangle a participle. I didn't do any of that with fuck involved. And I got to admit, it was in my head for a while. After finally, I'm doing the show, and then I'm like, oh, I can't believe I haven't said it. Am I gonna say it? Should I say it? I shouldn't say it. No, go ahead and get. It was like finishing a marathon, folks. Is what it was like. It's like if you're running a marathon, I can only admit, like I can only admit. What's the word I'm looking for? I can only imagine. There you go. Hard to believe I wouldn't be able to think of the word imagine. Uh, it's easy if you try. So I'm sure. Please, by all means, fake laugh at that. If you're in a marathon, it's like if you hit the 18-mile mark, you're like, oh my God, I haven't said fuck yet. Although that's probably what you wouldn't say. I mean, so this doesn't make any sense. But that was a terrible analogy and certainly not apt. What do you? Is that going to be to tell me how much time now? Is that what we're going to do? Lily has gone ahead and it's evolved over the years. She's used fingers, she's used pieces of paper, all sorts of professional things from her. I don't know if you know this. She had a budding radio career way back when,
fuck that.
and she was a producer and took care of all sorts of business. And now she's gone ahead and gotten a grease board and a grease pencil, and she's going to write down the minutes of the meeting, I suppose. So I look forward to that. I look forward to her waving a grease board at me. That's how bored she is with the show, by the way. She has gone ahead and started fucking with the camera, and now she has picked up a grease board. She's ringing her nipple bells. I mean, she's doing all this nonsense. Seriously, folks, I'm not lying to you. I walk in today and I hear bells, and I don't say anything because I don't want to know where they are. I don't know if she's going all Boston Batwanger and she's got him hanging from her I can't say. I don't want to say that. She's my friend. But then I figure, oh no, are they? And then as she walks and turns, they're on her boobs. Like she's got So I can only imagine they're nipple rings with bells on them, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is. It's nipple rings with bells. It's not like a crazy because then in my head I think it's like some weird
Cowbells.
Rube Goldbergian trap. You know what I mean? Like she's got there's some sort of lever. It's like Mousetrap, the game Mousetrap, where the ball's going to slide down the thing and it's going to drop a net, and then there's going to be her bells ringing on her breasts.
Oh
So
God.
yeah. So and then we're sitting here, and I noticed him, and I didn't say anything. I wasn't going to be that guy who said anything. And then sure enough, I'm sitting here, and she's like she's ringing them herself. Like I see her, she's grabbing her nipple and she's shaking it like back and forth, and I'm like, all right, I'm still not gonna notice this. I'm pretend like nothing is happening right now. But it's like, ding, ding, literally, she's calling cowboys to dinner. I'm like, what are you doing with your goddamn nipple bell triangle? Come and get it nonsense.
No.
What is happening? But I still wasn't gonna say anything. And she's like, ding, 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 and she's fondling herself and ringing her bell. And then I'm waiting for the clown to run in. Like I'm thinking it's a come and get it bell for the clown to come and get something happening, but thankfully it was not. He did not charge in, and there was no grease paint. But I still don't know what it was. So and then she actually kind of absentmindedly went sorry, like. I wasn't even looking. Like I was just like looking away. I was trying to avoid looking at all costs. Because the last thing I want to do is I was like, hey, oh, whoa, okay, what's happening there? This is weird. Close the door. And then next thing you know, this curtain of anal beads is on the ground, and horrible things are happening, and I'm getting a divorce. So I didn't know what was happening. So why were you fondling and grabbing?
I had spirit gum on for my pasties.
Oh,
And
okay.
apparently there's some stuck to the bell.
Oh, so you
because
had
all of a
all
sudden
right.
the bell
So
was stuck to the bottom of my nipple, and
I
it was
see.
like sticking out, and I'm like, what the fuck? Trying to
Yeah.
figure out what, and so I had to unstick it.
Language, by the way. I don't know if that's if you should concern yourself with that. Quite frankly, it's a clean show. So yeah, so she's got nipple bells, and they're ringing. And so like I said, I'm just waiting for all of the cowboys from Of Mice and Men to charge in here for dinner. All right, so how are you folks? I'm good. But last week I didn't say fuck once in the episode, and at the end of it I looked at Lily and I told her, and she didn't really notice either. So I guess that you guys are off the hook. And and then I said, well, let's make it a contest. I said, I'll go in and I'll say, hey, you know what? There's something in this episode, and the first person to write me is going to get like a year one box set for free. And Lily's like, no, you shouldn't do that. I said, why? And she goes, because it'll be even better when people just notice it on their own, and then they write you, and then you can deal with it on next week's show, and you'll have so much fun, and you can talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, but if I give them an incentive, like where I'm going to give away the year one box set, then they'll listen to the show over and over trying to find clues or whatever, and then eventually it'll dawn on somebody. She's like, nah, don't do that. Make sure you don't tell them, and then eventually they'll figure it out on their own. And that's why it's even more fun when they discover it on their own. Guess what? No fun, because nobody fucking discovered it on their own. Nobody heard it. Not even Mex. I called Mex. I go, did you notice anything about the show this week? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, I don't know. Did you notice anything different, like from other shows? He's like, well, and I go, I didn't say fuck once. And he goes, you know what? I was going to guess that. I go, no, you weren't. Nobody's going to guess that because nobody would ever guess that about my fucking show. No one would ever say, oh, I bet he doesn't say fuck. No, ridiculous. I do, and I did. But yeah, it was really weird. And then I felt like maybe I wasn't doing a good enough show because I was censoring myself and making sure that to censor myself as it went on, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be good enough. But then I listened back to it, and Jesus Christ, was last week's show great? I'm sorry, folks, it was awesome. That story about me and Annette and Rick, even I knew how it was going to end, and I was listening to it, going, "This is awesome. How's this going to end?" Like I was all tense, and like I felt like I did when I was in the yard when it happened. For Christ's sake, I can paint a goddamn picture, can't I, folks? I am a world class storyteller, particularly when it comes to horrible shit that happened to me. I mean, if you asked me to tell the story of like brave Sir Robin as he walks through the woods and he runs away, that's a Monty Python reference for 9 people. Not for 9. It's a Monty Python reference for 1,000,000,000 people, but none of them listen to my show. Nobody. You people don't like Monty Python, do you? You can't. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm sort of absurd. It's funny. There's that horrible Crodman Dune and the Flaming Sword of fucking nonsense is on Comedy Central, and they're trying to build themselves as Monty Python-esque, and it said it was Monty Python meets Lord of the Rings. I'm like, really? Could you shoot a little higher? Why don't you just say it's like God coming in your face? Seriously. You're gonna say it's like Monty Python meets Lord of the Rings. Could you find more awesome to jam into that sentence? Seriously, you should have just. It's like if God threw you a beard. That's what you should say. If God dropped an omelet on your face, that's what this is like. How many more euphemisms could I have for God blessed and a load in your face? All right. It's like tenderly French kissing Jesus. That's what they should just say, because how much more awesome could you cram into a sentence or a description of a show? And that show looks like Crowd Mandoon and the flaming piece of shit, because it's just really a comedy. And the best part is, those shows crack me up because they come out of nowhere with that show. Like, no, if there's a reference point, like if people like Monty Python, and then there's something with John Cleese, and there's always a reference point for people. That show was just, they were like, oh, it's the greatest, Crod Mandoon and the Flaming Sword of what? No one knows what this is. Why are you acting like everybody is familiar with it and acting like anybody would ever be interested in seeing it, for Christ's sake? Come at it with a different approach, like, oh yeah, you've never seen anything like it before. But instead, they're just like, yes, it's the greatest. No, it wasn't the greatest. And again, full disclosure, I haven't watched one fucking second of this show. It could be the greatest. It could be Monty Python meets Jesus giving you a reach around. I have no fucking idea. All I know is I haven't seen it, but the commercials and all of the advertising for it drove me fucking insane, because they just presumed that you were gonna love it. It wasn't even trying to convince you. It's just like, yeah, if you know fucking Crod Mandoon, you're gonna fucking. No, I don't. I know that's a stupid name. That's what I know. And by the way, if anybody who created Crod Mandoon is listening to this, please, I don't. I cast no aspersions on you or your career or your work. What the fuck do I know? I sit in an office all night long and stare, wondering where my goddamn life went wrong. But I mean, I guess I wish I was writing a show that Comedy Central thought was awesome. Wouldn't that be great? Instead of doing a show that nobody likes or listens to? I mean, that would be... and I don't mean to insult you folks. I know that I've got upward of 2 people watching me on Apple TV. I don't want to go ahead and offend you folks. I found now that I can get itemized breakdowns of how people are watching the show. 2 people on Apple TV. So hi to Lily said it was Steve Jobs and his wife. That was it. That's the only 2 people, because they're the only 2 people using Apple TV. But I dispute that. I say that there's at least 2 wonderful consumers of my product who are using Apple TV. And here, this is weird. As bad as those numbers are, 2 people on Apple TV, Zune, literally half of a download. That's all I got from Zune. That's wrong. It was like 600, but still. It was a lot of people, but iTunes, of course, still the preferred way for people to go. It's iTunes, and then Zune, and then 2 people on Apple TV, and then 1 person got it from a town crier shouting out a window. I don't know what small town that is, that they've hired someone to yell my podcast out at midnight out the window. I think it's great. I want to hear his interpretation of it. I think, you know what we should do? We should have this show, and I'm good at, fuck it, I should just do it. God damn it, I shouldn't even say it now, but I have to say it. I want to hire a Spanish guy to just translate my show and put it out one week. And have like, because David Lee Roth did the greatest thing. He put out his first solo album called Eat 'Em and Smile, and then he put it out incomplete in Spanish. The exact same album, except he sang in Spanish on the entire album. And I have both, and this is a time when I really regret not playing the music, because I would play you going crazy in Spanish, and it's the fucking Cueto Loco Dave! Fucking hilarious. Who does that? Nobody. Some idiot named Dave. But I'm gonna do that. Fuck it. I'm gonna get some fucking Spanish guy, and he's gonna listen to my show, and he's gonna translate it, and I'll be able. So you know what? I tap into a whole new goddamn market with that. I certainly draw in the occasional Mexican with that. God damn it, how great would that be to have like a German guy and a Spanish guy and an Australian guy? You know what it'll be like? It'll be like the scene in the old Batman movie from 1968 when Batman went to the UN just before the Penguin turned them all into powder. And they're all arguing with one another, and they're arguing in their different languages. That's what my show would sound like. Boy, if my show sounds like aggressive and angry in this language, can you imagine what it sounds like in fucking German? Oh my God. It would literally, I want a guy to do my podcast in German, and then I'm going to put it on one of those tapes of Hitler's speeches. Like, you remember those where you see Hitler, and he's talking to all of the Hitler youth, and he's talking to all of Germany. He's like, and he's like fucking spit everywhere, and the mustache is flapping, and the hair is crazy. I want to do that, but a German version of my podcast. Or maybe we just do my podcast. Maybe we go ahead. You know what? I should do that. We should go ahead and just have a clip of Hitler, but just have my podcast coming out of his mouth, and then have all the people cheering and putting their hands in the air. Fuck, why do I say these things instead of doing them? Because they're funny to say, but if I ever did it and just dropped it on you fucking people, you'd be like, that was hysterical. But now it's just the idea of it. You're like, oh, that's a hysterical idea. And then in 9 years, when I get around to doing it, you'd be like, should have done it a million years ago. Of course I should have. But it was a fucking great idea, wasn't it? All right. How great would that be, like a companion podcast in Spanish? It's like the 40-year-old hombre. I mean, that'd be fucking hysterical. The 40-year-old amigo. I don't know. What's the word for boy? I don't even know.
I just learned this.
Oh, okay. Oh, how did you? Oh, I don't even want to know how you learned it. All right.
The clown is from Mexico.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's Mexican.
Oh, then there's, you know what? He's a self-hating Mexican though.
No, well,
He must be, yeah, because that's why he puts the white makeup on his face, because he wants to be white. He is a self-hating Mexican. He goes ahead and he's like, I'm Caucasian. I'm as good as everybody else. And he wipes all the white makeup on his face.
It's oh
All right.
shit.
Mijo.
Mijo.
Yes,
That's
okay.
exactly what it is. Mijo is good.
It is.
Thank you.
Right. So the 40-year-old Mijo. Let's have that. All right. I'm going to do that. By the way, if you're Spanish and you want to do it and you think you can take on this task, hey, does the clown speak Spanish?
Yes, he does.
All right. Well, let's fucking get him to do it. He's going to have to, I can't even imagine. What would it take? I would have to fucking transcribe it, wouldn't I? I would have to actually write everything that I said, and he would have to just read it off a script. And what if he was better than me? Fuck that. I can't do that. Wait a minute. What if I do this and then that Spanish guy is a genius and everybody's like, lose the American guy. Lose the 40-year-old gringo. We go 40-year-old Mijo. And I'm out. Forget about it. We go French. We go the 40-year-old garçon. Because garçon means boy, which we all learned in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, that's great. All right, I got to do this. Anybody who's out there and wants to and get involved and read this podcast in a different language, this is great. This is a great idea. I am renovating the podcasting industry, and by industry I mean a group of shows that nobody pays for. That's what it is. My favorite is Adam Carolla is now podcasting, and that's great for Adam. And he's constantly number one in iTunes. He's got like 100,000 people a day downloading his show, and he's trying to figure out how to make money from it. And it's just like, well, eventually, when you figure it out, let us know. That would be great, because there's literally, it's like Ricky Gervais and Jimmy Pardo. That's it. Those are the geniuses of podcasting who have figured out how to turn a buck off of this industry. You know what I'm doing? I'm selling shirts that nobody wants. And that's a lie. People want shirts, but people don't want me to ship them overseas, and there's all sorts of stuff that people are disappointed with my shirts, as I had raging debates in my email, where people are like, yeah, your shirt is good. But then I sell the year one box set, and people are like, I'll buy that. So that's good. So that's turned out to be well. So... yeah, the 40-year-old Mijo. I like it. The 40-year-old hombre. What was it? The 40-year-old garçon, which is the French version. The 40-year-old Kinter. That's probably German, right? Kinter. Why would the entire phrase be in English except for the last word? That's stupid. It makes no sense. It should be los 40 olde mijo, right? I don't know. I don't know what those words are. Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out. So I come here and what was I talking about? How did I even get off on that? I don't even remember. You, nipple bells, anal beads. I'm all crazy right now, folks. My wife left. She's out. Not left. Although that would that really surprise any of you? Quite frankly. She went out of town. She's in Boston for like 10 days, and then Minnesota and Chicago, and she's all over the place doing business and eating clam chowder and baked beans. That's what she does. She went to Boston. The only reason she went is to eat baked beans and clam chowder for 10 days. She's on a whirlwind tour of the area, enjoying baked beans and clam chowder in virtually any home or office. I don't know. Will an office offer baked beans? I've never been to Boston. You guys tell me. I know you aggressively enjoy your sports teams. I know that about Boston, as witnessed by my email from Boston people making fun of me because I like the Bulls, and Boston beat them. Really? The funny thing to me, I didn't mention the Bulls at all. Like I never even on this show, I never talked about them once. But just because I'm from Chicago, people assume I'm a Bulls fan, and I am. But at the same time, I wasn't. I was very excited. But to go, it would have been nice if they'd won. But I mean, I understand. That's why I say aggressively support your sports teams, because that was like a preemptive trash talk to me. Because I never even. It wasn't like I was saying the Bulls rock and screw you, and I wasn't at all. I didn't mention them once. I did not mention Los Bulos at all, El Lobo or El Toro. I didn't mention the El Toros at all. See, I'm trying to help the Spanish guy who's going to go ahead and interpret this show. I did not mention El Toro, and yet Boston fans sent me emails like, "Ha, you suck it, pal. Fuck you." Really? Okay, thanks, Sully. Thanks for writing me. You fucking hump. Oh, terrible. So my wife is there now, and hopefully they don't sniff her out and then yell at her in her face. Bulls, jerk. Yeah, great. I'm old. I love sports, and I'm excited about the Blackhawks and all that kind of stuff. And but I realize I don't love sports like some people love sports. Like I love the Phillies. I think we all learned this over a 9-episode arc in year one. And they won the World Series, and I was very excited about it, and that's great. But then this year, they're playing and everything, and it's too early to even trash talk at all, despite the fact I'm sure now I'll get emails from people, Phillies suck! All right, good. Yeah, you're very controversial. Thank you for your time. But I love them. But yet I don't know if you've seen this. You can go to YouTube and find it. At the ceremony in the park, in Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies, when they raised the championship banner, This is Philadelphia. I've never been to Philadelphia. Okay, I don't know anything about it. I want to go very badly, and yet then I see this tape and I go, maybe I don't. Even though I'm a Philly fan, so I guess I'd be on their side. But here's what happened: they're raising the banner in Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies championship, for the World Series banner. There's a guy taping it. This is on YouTube. He's filming it. He pans down. This is the ceremony for they're going to raise the banner before the game. He pans down. There's Philly fans, and they just start punching. Like this huge fight breaks out. Like 9 dudes just start swinging on one another. And then literally he pans over, and the fans are cheering, and they're raising the championship banner. It's that close. It's not even like at the game where they raised the banner, a fight broke out. It's at the moment they raised the championship banner, the fight broke out with these guys. What the fuck are you mad about? Literally, your favorite team is raising a championship banner to the sky. Are you mad they haven't won another one quickly? What the fuck is going on? But it's just, it escalated. You could just see these people, and they're wearing Phillies jerseys, and they're all punching one another. And I'm like, man, even I'm not that fucking angry. Even I don't love the Phillies that much or love sports that much that I'm willing to tangle with a dude in the stands. And I just, Jesus Christ, that's angry, folks. So I'm hoping nobody finds out my wife's in Boston and fucking screams in her face and, spray paints green on her and runs away. I don't know what the hell they do. All I know is Boston people are very serious about their sports. So, which makes me think that the city, I understand it's a cosmopolitan city and it's one of our greatest cities, I would imagine. I've never been there, but it also must be a horrible place if those people are that invested in their sports teams that they're ready to fucking brawl at the drop of a hat. Doesn't it seem crazy? Maybe I'm a child. No, if I was a child, I'd be that guy. I'd be angry and Captain Sports. But like I used to be as a young man. But now if my team wins, yay! And if they don't, oh, drag. Well, so what? I'm not going to fucking hang myself. I'm certainly not going to punch a guy in the park. Not in the baseball. I'll punch a guy in the park, in an actual, like at a park at a middle school or something. I'll walk him, just punch a guy in the grill for no reason at all. Because why is he cooking out there in the park? Haha, grill. All right. Yes, horrendous. Kill me. That's. I imagine that's the sound you make when the world's largest string of angle beads is being used on you.
They aren't.
Yes, they are. They are. They're pink, and that's what they do. All right. So, look. Let me tell you something. I know anal beads when I see anal beads. You're not gonna fool me when you say, "Oh, those aren't anal beads." Trust me. I know what anal beads look like. What if that was your area of expertise? What if you were an anal bead expert and you knew everything there was to know about them by appearance or texture or smell? All right. I would imagine anal beads, they got to smell pleasant, right? I mean, pre-use. And then afterwards, you put them in a nice sink and you scrub them up. Give them a little scrubby-dubby, right? I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know how it works with the beads. You tell me. You wash them when you're done, right? She's got to get involved. She doesn't want to talk about it. Because she doesn't want me to know that she doesn't wash her anal beads, and then I'll be even more horrified by the curtain of them over on the goddamn door.
I just want to see the business card. Anal bead expert.
Anal bead expert, ABE.
Lily Von Stupp, ABE.
I like it. Yeah, all right. Oh, so you've made yourself the anal bead expert. Oh, no, you've just made yourself. I see how that works. All of a sudden you've gone from someone who wouldn't discuss them to all of a sudden being an expert on anal beads. Fantastic. That's fine if that's who you are. All right. Look for it on NextTube, folks. Lily Von Stupp, anal bead expert. What would that be in Spanish, I wonder? Lily Von Stupp, Los Años Bedul? I don't know. I'm making shit up. Experto. I know experto is Spanish for expert.
Oh, yes.
Of course it is.
Sure.
I learned that from a mouse named Speedy Gonzalez and the Frito Bandito. That's where I learned all of my Spanish, was on TV from racist mascots. Okay, so Karen's out of town, and so now I'm in my house. I'll tell you this: Karen comes home last week. It was Earth Day. I think I mentioned that to you folks as I was defiling a box all day in honor of Earth Day, and my wife apparently entered an Earth Day contest for who could be the most green at her work. And she comes home. She's like, "Hey, I won the contest for Earth Day." I said, "Great, that's fantastic." And she goes, "So I won a prize." I said, "Beautiful." She opens the trunk of her car. You know what she won? A tree. Not a plant, not a shrub, not a cactus. A fucking tree. And I mean like a 4-foot tall tree. In a bag, like they have the roots all bagged up, and it's a 4-foot, it's an actual fucking tree. And I look at her and I go, "The fuck is that?" She goes, "That's the prize I won. I won a tree." I said, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? She goes, well, you're supposed to plant it. That's, for Earth Day. You go ahead and you plant a tree. I said, that's not a fucking prize. You want a tree? That's not a, you got to take care of that. That's not a fucking prize. They might as well have given you a baby. Seriously. I mean, hey, here's the prize. 4 hours of yard work. That's your goddamn prize for Earth Day. I mean, I said to her, I go, what did you suggest that won you this fucking prize? And this is my favorite part. She suggested that that more people carpool at the office. And I didn't want to say it to her because she was happy that she won and she's proud. And I wanted to say, but here's my favorite part. She suggested that, and everybody replied back because she sent it to company wide, and everybody said, nah, I can't do it. Sorry, it doesn't make any sense. I have an appointment that day. Like everybody had an excuse why they wouldn't carpool. The entire company had an excuse for why they didn't want to carpool. Yet, just for suggesting it, she winds up winning the goddamn contest. But I wanted to say to her, you do realize you were the only person who entered this contest. I mean, you are aware of that. Because suggesting that people in your office carpool has to be the training wheels of any Earth Day suggestion. I mean, it's not like you built a fucking greenhouse out of used cereal boxes, or you had some sort of skylight put in so that sunlight would go ahead and power the entire office. No, you suggested people pair up in cars, which is something that people have been suggesting since the goddamn 70s. But I didn't say that to her because I enjoy living in my apartment, and so she brought the tree in, and I'm carrying it in, and I just put it out in our courtyard. I just put it out on the dirt. And she goes, no, you can't leave it there. And I go, yeah, I can leave it there. She goes, no, you have to bring it inside. I go, there's sun out here. Let it stay out here. And we actually had kind of a dust up over it. She's like, and she kept looking at it like a little kid, like when you take his toy away. And I go, what are you going to do with the tree in the house? Seriously, what do you plan on doing with it? Well, you can't leave it out there. I go, no one's going to fucking steal your tree, okay? And if they do, good fucking riddance. Let them go plant it somewhere. God damn it. Nobody needs a tree. Again, that's like if you suggested a ways for parenting and they gave you a baby. Hey, here's your prize. 20 years of bad luck. So, yeah. So this tree now, so now she went out of town and she talked to our owner of the building and he's going to plant it. And he was all excited and they were excited. And, hey, you gave us a tree. But it still sits. There it sits. I guarantee it'll be there when she gets back from Boston because the fucking manager's not going to plant it. And so I don't know. Who's groaning? Why are you sad? Who's sad? Oh, it is not. It's in a burlap sack full of dirt. I mean, that's where it lives, right? That's where trees live.
In burlap sack.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's got dirt and water. That's all it needs, and sun. There you go. It's just pretty soon its roots will sprout out of the bag, and then it'll come to life like a triffid, Day of the Triffids, and it'll fucking stomp around and kill people. And then it'll walk around with a couple of fucking Pixie and Dixie on its shoulder and go try to chase down what's happening at Sauron. Was that the name? That wasn't the name of the guys in Lord of the Rings, Pixie and Dixie. That's two cartoon mice. That's a couple of cartoon mice who chased Jinx the cat. That's not the two weird guys from the Shire who rode around on a tree's shoulder. And by the way, if you've seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy, could I get more scenes of the tree walking with those two guys on his shoulder, please? Jesus Christ. There'd be all this stuff going on, and then there's orcs, and then there's gremlins. I'm not sure if the gremlins were there, quite frankly, but somebody was there. But there's orcs, and then there's the Samwise Gamgee, and he's got a huge crush on Frodo, and they're stomping around with the ring and their hairy feet. And then there's Gollum, and it's like all of this stuff is going on, and there's going to be a battle, and then there's Spider Tongue or Sour Tongue. What the hell's his name? What's his name? Wormtongue. Wormtongue is there. It's fucking insane. It's amazing. It's awesome. The Battle of Helm's Deep is getting revved up, and then they cut over to these two idiots riding on a tree again. And the tree, he's walking, and he's like, and then when the midgets came, whatever the fuck. He's telling some story about what happened in the Shire or in the woods, and I can't imagine that Pixie and Dixie stayed awake through the whole goddamn thing, but they're just like, they're leaning on him, and they're like, man, we are starving. Could we stop and get some bread, or do you have an apple growing out of your ear? Because we are fucking starving. Why do we have to ride on the goddamn tree? As an actor, that had to be the most boring thing in the world, because everybody else, again, they're in armor, and they're getting ready to fucking battle, and there's Gandalf, and he's gray, and then he's white, and then there's a horse, and then there's fucking that little midget dude, Gimli, and he's got a huge fucking axe, and then, of course, there's Viggo Mortensen, and they're fighting orcs, and meanwhile, then there's something they cut away, and there's fucking the guy from Lost and his little buddy, and they're riding on a goddamn tree for hours and hours and hours. That green screen had to be just incredibly boring. They're just like, you know what, guys, pretend the tree is telling you a very wise tale about trees. Go. And then fucking Pixie and Dixie had to lean there and look very interested in what a tree was saying. Nobody cares what a goddamn tree is saying, but I will tell you, when the trees show up for the fucking battle, it is awesome. And then because then the trees get involved, and it's like, it's just that battle is genius. That most movies are genius. But again, I do not understand how Pixie and Dixie could fucking ride on the tree. All right, so. Oh my God! Have you ever seen the uncut versions of those? There's you've never seen any of them, but on the uncut versions of the Lords of the Ring, I was over at or Lord of the Rings, Lords of the Ring. What if it was Lords? It's the Lords of the Ring. That's the knockoff for Mexico. That's the Mexican version. Is Lords of the El Lordos of del Ringos.
El Ringos.
Yeah, the expertos. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the 40-year-old muchacho. I don't know if you're aware of that. And this week is that's what we're gonna go with. So I grew a handlebar mustache for the occasion. I have a couple of bandoleros on. On my way here, I actually I held up some people. I jumped out of the bushes and had an ambush. All right. So because apparently all of my touchstones with Mexico are from the 1800s. That's who I am. I am El Guapo from Three Amigos. That's who I am. I'm that guy. All right. So what the hell was I saying? Oh, dude! So I watched the Lord of the Rings, and there's the trilogy, and I forget which movie it is. I think it's the third movie. When they show up at the gates, and the mouth of Sauron comes out. Oh my dude, how fucking awesome is the mouth of Sauron? If you've never seen the uncut version, just Google mouth of Sauron. They actually came up with an action figure for it. They cut him out of the original movie, but then when they re-put it in all the footage and the DVDs, I was over at Mex's house. He's like, dude, have you ever seen the mouth of Sauron? I'm like, no. And what it was is they took a guy. They did a camera trick. They gave him a mouthful of like spikes, and they made his mouth with a weird effect. His mouth is like 4 times its normal size, so it looks like he has like a normal head, but then this giant fucking Venom Spider-Man reptilian mouth, and it opens fucking. Oh, dude, it was all the mouth of Sauron is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. It was genius. And meanwhile, then there's mouth of Sauron, and you're like, oh my God, this is brutal. What's going to happen with him? And the way he talks, and his creepy voice, it literally sounds like he may as well just have baby arms coming out of his mouth. That's how scary he is. He looks like he would just be eating infants and spitting rage. I mean, he's just like crying blood. I mean, like that kind of a fucking evil monster. And then sure enough, you cut over, and there's a couple of fucking midgets on a tree shoulder. God damn it. Boring. Cut them out. If you're going to put in the mouth of Sauron, put in a lot of the mouth of Sauron and cut out the goddamn tree walk with a couple of dudes on his shoulder having to hear boring tree stories. I did not enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed the movies as a whole. I enjoyed the entire trilogy, even when and fucking Legolas is awesome with the boom, boom, boom with the arrows. And I'm a nerd. How much of a nerd am I right now, folks? I have to tell you how much I enjoyed those because, again, it goes in parallels how much I did not enjoy Wolverine. Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yeah, let's put it. All right, here's what happened. Wolverine. I go with Pat. We go to the midnight show, and for some reason, there was a party of 5, along with Scott Wolf. Is he a party of 5? I don't know if he is, but there's a group of 5 people, and they're sitting in the back row with us. But for some reason, they've purchased 2 seats, left 2 seats, and then purchased 3 seats, and Pat and I are sitting directly between the 5 of them. So they are talking across us to one another, and they're like 18. One of them is 13. Then there's a couple, and they're like 20, and then their other 2 friends are 18. So on my left, there's 3 boys. 2 of them are 18, one of them's 13. And on Pat's right, Pat's to my right, and then on Pat's right, there's a couple, and they're 20. And they're talking back and forth, and it's just, look, I don't understand people. Certainly not. Certainly not youths. I don't understand young people anymore with their backwards baseball hats and their rap music. I'm old, but they're talking and they're being like they're making gay jokes about being gay. I mean, just the kind of shit you would think that they would think is funny. It's terrible. This is before the movie, mind you. And here's my rule in movie theater. Again, talk all you want, all before the movie starts. I'd prefer you were quiet for the trailers, but it's not required. I'd rather you were, but you know what? Trailers are trailers, and they're there for, whatever, that's fine. But the second the fucking movie starts, shut the fuck up. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be like fucking Krishna with 8 arms, just a constant punching machine. That's who I am. I'm a constant punching machine, because I will just stand up and just start fucking abusing everyone. So, they're talking and they're yelling across and they're texting one another. Like literally they're like 4 seats away but sending texts and then making fun of because they misspelled their text. They're just awful people. Okay. So Wolverine starts and spoiler alert. Let me go ahead and say this. I'm not going to give away plot points, but I will say this about the movie. Anytime there's a film with more than 2 scenes of someone looking to the sky and going, no, you know that movie fucking blows. That movie blows. Is there cool stuff in it? Yeah. But again, this whole thing of making films PG-13 so you can get as much money as possible, and it worked. $90 million, absolutely, and there will be another Wolverine. That's great for them, and I'll go see it because I'm stupid. But you know what? Wolverine kills 1,000 people, and there's not a drop of blood in the goddamn film. I mean, there's not. It's like just this. You're waiting for shit to happen, and it just doesn't happen. And then no, like 3 different times, including once a character who you wouldn't expect to do it does it, that happens in the first 5 minutes, and you go, oh, okay, this is gonna be terrible. It's just Marvel when they make these movies, And again, The Dark Knight is a serious barometer now, and it has fucked it up for all superhero movies because you're going to judge them all by The Dark Knight, and because up until that point, Spider-Man 1 and 2 were fucking great, and I mean I didn't even mind this movie. Wolverine is along the lines of Ghost Rider and Daredevil. It's certainly not as bad as the two Fantastic Four movies, which are atrociously bad, but it's feels like a knockoff movie. I mean, it just not enough. Ryan Reynolds is in the beginning of the movie. He's only in it for 5 minutes. His 5 minutes in the opening of the movie. I looked at Pat, and like he leaned over, and I go, that guy was born to be in a movie like this because he's incredibly ripped, first of all, and he's funny, and he's glib, and he has his way with dialogue. He's really good, and of course he's in the first 5 minutes, and then you don't hear from him again for a while, and I'm just like, you lose the most charismatic guy on screen, including Wolverine, because. Again, my problem with this movie is I don't want to see Wolverine be sad. I just, I don't care that Wolverine had a girl that he liked. Nobody fucking cares about Wolverine and his girl unless you're doing the stories from Japan, and then they make sense. And again, that's me being a comic nerd and weirdo, but it just, man. So this movie is bad. It's like Saw bad, like where you're watching it and like there's some cool stuff to sort of redeem it, but while the movie's going on, these idiots, they don't talk to one another. Okay, the group of five, but like the first time he shoots his claws out, Wolverine, the girl goes pretty. Like that's what we're talking about here. They're trying to make each other laugh by saying stupid things. Okay. Meanwhile, the three dudes on the right of me, the two 18-year-olds and the 13-year-old, they're laughing actively at virtually everything in the film. Like when something happens, they make this face like they're those 18-year-olds who think that nothing is good, like that kind of thing. Like they came in fully prepared to just go, this is stupid, and laugh. And I wanted to fucking kill them, except I agreed with them. That was the sad part. They're like laughing out loud at these films, and I mean, I told you I've laughed out loud at Saw. I laughed out loud at Friday the 13th at things that happen. One of my favorite moments is we went to see Blues Brothers 2000, which is the worst. Okay, and it's a comedy, so you're supposed to laugh at it. But there's a scene in Blues Brothers 2000 where Paul Schaefer plays like a French monarch. I mean, like literally, that's how bad it is. And he comes out and he gives a speech, like this really quick, like and he puts on this French, like the kind of French accent you would have in fucking improv class, like that kind of French. Like the kind of French that the guy who's going to do the 40-year-old garçon is going to do. If he was like, the 40-year-old garçon, like that kind of French, like, like that. Paul Schaefer comes out and he gives a speech. He's like, the Blues Brothers, like that. And the theater's quiet. And I didn't mean it. I wasn't trying to get attention or be funny, but I just went, oh no! Because it was like it caught me by such surprise and horrified me to the point where I went, oh no! And all of a sudden I just hear Pardo go, ha! Because he was sitting like 3 rows behind me. It was like this weird because we had to. That's how bad it was. Blue Brothers 2000 was sold out, so we had to sit separately. So sure enough, man, these guys are laughing at Wolverine, and I wanted to be mad at them, but I couldn't because I completely agreed with them. This movie was laughable, just laughable. Here's how bad it was. Then at the end, there was a thing at the end of the credits because Marvel now has done that thing where they're putting in a little coda at the end of the credits to give you a wink and a nod for the next movie. And when it played, it finished, and people booed it in the theater. People booed it because they weren't happy with it. And then I start talking to somebody who saw it, and he's like, "Hey, how great was that thing at the end?" Because I actually liked the thing at the end, whatever, because it set up some stories that I think they have a lot of possibilities that should have been this movie, whatever. Who cares? But this guy go, yeah, how great was that end with blah blah blah, and he told me something completely different, and I go, no, that's not what I saw at the end. I saw this, and he's like, no, that's not what I saw, dude. I saw this, and so now I'm mad. I'm like, wait a minute. So sure enough, I go online. There's 2 different endings. You might see one or the other when you go to the theater, and that's cool, and also really fucking sneaky and dickish to do to people. You know what I mean? It's like, what, I'm gonna go sit through this piece of shit again just to see the final fucking 35 seconds that teases something that might happen. You suck for doing that. That's rude. You can't rude. I don't know if rude is a word. It's not up there with not having your pinky out while you're drinking tea, but it's certainly fucking bad. But yeah, it just pissed me off. So sure enough, so now there's two endings to Wolverine. I find out, and quite frankly, that's I would say that that's too many, but I disagree. That's right on time. I wish the movie had more endings. As I was watching it, I was like, I hope there's an ending here somewhere quickly, so I can get out of this goddamn theater, get away from this party of five who won't stop fucking talking, and this horrible film that I just dumped a bunch of money into for no good reason at all because it was bad. Jesus. Wolverine winds up at a farm. Like he winds up at a farm, and these people are like, it's like Ma and Pa Kent basically go, oh well, hey son, what are you doing here? And they give him some clothes that their son used to wear. Apparently, their son was the cutting edge of fashion and wore this amazing leather jacket. And he fit. What have you seen Wolverine? Hugh Jackman has got biceps as big as my head. I mean, he's in unbelievable shape. And they're like, hey, you look about my son's size. Really? You had a Wolverine running around here? Because there's no other explanation for what he fucking looks like. He's in the most unbelievable shape you've ever seen. And I don't literally, unless it was Superman's farm. Maybe it was. Maybe they were talking about their son, Clark Kent, and he left his clothes behind. And they're like, you look a lot like our son. So bad. I mean, just and I mean, because the guy, he's ripped and his bones are filled, covered with adamantium. I mean, it's like there's just no way that you should. Pardon me?
No, they're filled with adamant.
Adamant? What do you mean?
I was watching G4 and they had the commercial on, and I'm like, he's made of adamant?
You.
I honestly thought that's
really?
what they said.
Yeah. So you thought that the metal inside him was adamant?
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh,
I
you.
had to rewind the commercials
Well,
like 3 times.
In fairness to you, though, you were probably wearing a bondage hood and a gag at this point when you were listening, and so you didn't hear the at the end. Adamantium, not just adamant. Although that would make sense because Wolverine, well, no, it's not true because he does drink, he does smoke. And subtle innuendos did follow. Must be something inside. It is something inside. It's adamantium. But he was no goody two-shoes, folks. I can tell you that. Adamant. Are you fucking crazy? That's like, I told you, that's when people misunderstand lyrics. And this girl I used to bang, her friend thought dirty deeds done dirt cheap. She said she thought it was dirty jeans in the washing machine. She said that's what her friend thought. And I go, no, she said that as a joke, or she really thought that's what they said? She goes, no, that's what she said. And I go, then your friend is retarded. Because that's not even fucking close. That's the worst thing I've ever heard anybody say. Really? Your friend thought that? Then you know what? Your friend has a fucking dent in her head and needs to be brought to a hospital immediately. Because if you hear that song, granted, he's got a gravelly voice and he sings it. It's dirty deeds and they're done dirt cheap. There's no way he said dirty deeds in the washing machine. It doesn't even sound like machine. Terrible. She broke up with me shortly thereafter. All right. And I can't blame her. Why wouldn't she? So yeah, I hate to be that guy, but I did not enjoy Wolverine. It was not something that I was excited about seeing. Well, no, I actually was very excited about seeing it, but unfortunately, it turned out to be not what I wanted to see. All right. And this summer is not. There's nothing. I don't care about Star Trek, man. I'm not that guy. I don't care about what else is coming out. That's the thing. Is literally I couldn't tell you any tentpole Transformers. Who cares? I mean, again, I'll see them because it's the summer and I have nothing else to do with my life. And
Not like the winter.
no, in the winter I'm very busy. I'll tell you what, I am super busy. Well, hey, believe me, you got nothing to say if you thought adamant was in the fucking bones of Wolverine. You are completely. I'm off the hook, and you don't ever get to tell me anything at all. Just you should just walk around ringing your nipple bells, and there you go. All right, and that's so funny. That sounds like her tits are right in my face when you hear those bells. She's that far across the room. She's because they're literally she has school bells on her breasts. That's how big Lily's breasts. Oh, she's got 42 triple D's or whatever the fuck. So I mean, she had to have their. She actually has the Liberty Bell hanging from one of her tits. That's how big it is. It's just this. No, don't say that.
They're the size of a pea.
Sure they are. So they that's why you could hear them from across the room. All right.
4 of them.
That sounded like a cat's collar. Like if a cat was running
That's
around.
the kind of bells it is.
Oh, okay, but they're huge. I mean, I can see them through your shirt. It looks like you have
Because I have a triple ball hanging.
It looks like you have globes, like world globes from your globes.
No,
That's what
I
you
have a big purple crystal in
I don't. Let me see. Well, just show him to me. Let me see. No, seriously. Let me see him again. I've seen him before. All right.
Just that part.
Let's see that. What the?
See?
Who's gonna be pissed?
And then there's this.
Who's gonna be pissed? Did you say? Who?
Karen.
Why is she gonna be pissed? She doesn't listen to the show anyway. I mean, it's just and all right. So yeah. So that's I mean, and you could hear them there. I'm sure you could hear them there. They're gigantic. It's frightening, folks. It's so all right. So
Frightening breasts.
no, you have the attachments to your breasts are frightening. That's the thing. It's just it's literally it's a triangle. All right. So what was I saying? Something important. Dude, I was gonna say this and I got sidetracked somehow. I'm in the office at work, and which is awful and terrible. But I'm there, and this guy comes downstairs and he starts. This is stupid. I'm not gonna tell this story. It doesn't make any sense. No, it's not funny.
Is it better than the weird chick with the eye?
No, what could possibly be better than that? That was such a great story. Oh my God. This is just another story of me being trapped in an office and being a regular person. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody, you do, but nobody else does. There are other people besides you and I involved in this exercise, and right now they're turning. Well, then again, they didn't hang around. Once they heard me talking about walking trees for 9 minutes, they were like, "We're out." Actually, they're probably all just looking around for the 40-year-old Muchacho. They're trying to find him and see what he has to say about this. And God damn it, that's a great idea. That is a great idea to get some fucking. I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have said it. I should have just done it. Dummy. All right. Went to Wolverine. Oh, nothing. It was just it was a guy who came down because I'm trapped there. Okay, I have to listen to people. You remember when the guy came down and told me about the Holocaust, and I was like, dude, the Simpsons are on. All right, so imagine that guy's telling me something of import, like something that some knowledge that I could actually take with me and be touched by. This guy comes downstairs and he's telling me about the Dodger game, right? And he won't stop talking about baseball, and he won't stop talking about but he's talking to me as if I were Keanu Reeves in The Day the Earth Stood Still and had no idea what baseball was. And again, my Uzi weighs a ton, folks. I mean, I got to tell you, like I told you, I'm going to join Mensa and fucking school everybody. I'm kind of smart. So, and not book smart. I don't know what, I'm not smart. I'm a smart ass, but I can talk a lot. I don't know what I'm saying. So I know, but let's put it this way. You don't need to be smart to know about fucking baseball, okay? So this guy comes down and he starts telling me about the Dodgers, but in the most rudimentary terms, he's like, yes, there's baseball. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a pitcher, and then there's 9 players in the field along, and then what they'll do is they'll throw the ball, and then they'll hit it with a stick that's like a bat. Oh, God, shut up. Seriously, hang yourself. There's Manny Ramirez. He's a good player. He used to play for the Boston Red Sox and also for the Cleveland Indians. Okay, I'm not in 5th grade. What the fuck? And if I am, it's time for me to put my head down and then go get milk. Because seriously, I don't want to listen to this motherfucking story. I know about baseball. Literally this happened. He's like, oh yeah, they have that all-you-can-eat pavilion out there in Dodger Stadium, and it's I wonder how that is. I mean, I've never sat out there, but I wonder what it's like. And I said, you know what? I actually sat out there last year. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd really like to talk to somebody who actually sat out there to find out what the experience is like, because it's got to be crazy with the lines. I said, yeah, you know what? It wasn't bad. There were a lot of lines, but me and 2 of my friends went out there. Oh yeah, I'd really like to talk to somebody and find out what the experience is like. Maybe I should get some tickets and go out there and check it out for myself. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Who are you, me? Paying attention only to your own goddamn voice and not caring about anything anybody else fucking says? I'm telling you, I sat out there. It was me. I was out there, and sure, it was all you can eat, and I had a siesta. I had my poncho on. I put my fucking sombrero on. Curled my mustache with my mustache wax. That's how it worked. It was just me and 2 of my buddies and a chupacabra. We sat out there and had a fucking great time. Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. Man, I wish that was the name of the show. Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. God damn it, that's great. That might be the name of my album. If I ever do an album, that's going to be the name of it. Listen to me, motherfucker. But it's got to be, listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. Yeah. God damn it, that's great. I love when I talk. All right, so. God damn it, folks. You have no idea how fucking lucky you are to get this. We are, was this episode 7? We are 59 episodes into goddamn brilliance. And you can buy 52 of those episodes. I'll tell you all about that later in my 97 minutes of plugs that close the show. Jesus Christ. I need to pre-tape that. I need to get a commercial for my own self. Because there's nothing worse than going through the litany of goddamn plugs and just going, and then another thing, and then this is happening. Because you know about it. Anybody who listens to the show knows about it. But then I'm getting new listeners every week. I find out, according to my numbers, at my new. By the way, let's talk about that for a fucking second. The people who host my website, my podcast, switched. Their name is SwitchPod, and they switched their pod on me, those motherfuckers. And so now it's at Libsyn.com, or I don't know, someone else is hosting it. But when they changed, here's what they did, folks. I think you know me. You know that nothing is in my control, and you know that I fucking hate it. I'm lucky enough that I got fucking Nipplebell Wilson on the case, and she takes care of as much of the stuff as she can for me. But I wind up having things that happen that are bad, and then I don't know what the fuck to do. So I call her in the middle of the night, and she's got a face full of clown cock and has no interest in talking to me. So I don't know what the hell to do with myself. So I just sit there and fume until the next goddamn morning. And my schedule's all jacked up from the goddamn graveyard thing. And then I wind up staying up. I'm sleeping in 3-hour bursts. It's bad, folks. It's fucking bad. I need to hop on the shoulder of a walking tree and get the fuck out of here. So what happens? What the hell was that noise? What was that noise? Do I win something? Did someone just buzz in and try to answer? What the hell just happened there?
I got mail.
Oh, you got
My
mail.
mail's working.
Okay, that's great.
Oh.
All right, is it?
Okay,
What is it?
sorry.
Some torture rack salesman who's like, hey, guess what? Your spin fuck chair is in. All right, good. Don't they know that Wednesday afternoons are for the 40-year-old muchacho? Don't they know that your afternoons are completely filled with 40-year-old garçon angst? All right. So, SwitchPod changes to Libsyn, and when they do that, they invalidate the feed that I have on my MySpace page and on my website. So now you can't listen to my show at the MySpace page and at my website. So they invalidate that feed, and also people started to get doubles of my show in iTunes. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but for some reason I got a bunch of emails from people saying, "Hey, for some reason I'm getting doubles," and so that I apologize. I don't think it'll happen again. Just erase the doubles. Obviously, those weren't no shows. I did not go back. Actually, you know what it was? It was the Spanish version of those shows because my team of mijos is on the case. I got some mijos. I got a mija doing it as well. She's very excited. So I'm just telling you that we're trying to fix it. Okay, we're trying to fix it. Also, here's something they did. If you go to iTunes and you look at my description paragraph that I wrote, and I wrote and care about as if it was my own child, it's completely ruined. Like all of the quotation marks have turned into question marks, and like all these, it looks like a hieroglyph. It looks like I said, it looks like a cat walked across a keyboard. That's what it looks like. It's like some mental patient went at it with a red pen full of weird markings. And we're trying to fix it. That's all I'm telling you. Don't think that every time I look at it, I don't want to fucking slit a wrist or open a vein, because I do. Because there's nothing I can do about it. Again, I got to talk to Nipple Bells here and see what she can do about it. Clang, clang, clang with the boobies. I got to get her on the goddamn phone. And she's gonna go ahead and take care of it. But then she sends an email, and I hear from her 3 days later because she's crammed into the backseat of a clown car with 10 of them, all getting busy. So I guess what I'm saying to you is that eventually these bugs will be fixed, and everything will be fine, and I won't have to bother Lily or you guys anymore with this nonsense. But please know that I am agonizing over it, and I can't stand it, and I wish there was something I could fucking do about it. Okay. Also, I can tell you that anybody who purchased year one of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, I am going to, there were 2 episodes that I found out were screwed up, I guess, from what I heard. And because the theme music was in the middle, and then you could hear something at the end. And then you also found out that it wasn't me doing the show. Because those 2 episodes, I actually had, I had George Hamilton come in and read them. He did a dramatic reading of the 2 of them, which people were not happy about. So... again, I'm on the case with those, and I will have them uploaded, and then I will send you the 2 new episodes. I'll send you the code via you send it, and you guys can get all that taken care of. So please know that that's being fixed. It is. It's just this stuff is out of my hand, folks. I show up and I talk. That's what I do. Everything else that orbits around this fucking show, I have no control over. There's nothing I can do. Because Lily is being Lily and doing her thing and twirling around and taking her clothes off, and she's not chained to a keyboard all day. She's chained to a couple of bedposts, certainly, but she's not chained to a keyboard. So there's nothing I can do to make her do this thing. And so there you go. So that'll be fixed. And then I won't have to obsess about it. And that is a lie because God knows that's what I do. Is I obsess about it. No matter how many times I try to do fun things to take my mind off it, that's all I do is I sit there and I think about the goddamn quotation mark that's out of place on my iTunes page. Because this is all I have, folks. Again, I'm strangling it to death. It's a bunny in my pocket, and I'm gonna pet it till it's dead. So what else did I do? I went to Wolverine, and then I went. Oh my God! You know what I did, folks? For the first time I went to karaoke. Because a bunch of Karen's, or I'm sorry, a bunch of Lily's burlesque people, they go to karaoke and they keep sending out notes, and I'm like, and Lily's always like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, and I'm like, all right, so you know what? I'm gonna go. So we call Lily that day and we go, hey, we're gonna go to karaoke, and she's like, I'm out. Really? She didn't want to go, so I was like, all right. So Karen and I wound up being out, and I said, you know what, let's stop by that karaoke and see if it's fun. And I got to tell you, here's my history with karaoke, folks. When it first started, when it was a big deal, when it was fun, when it was sweeping the nation, I went a few times, and it seemed like it would be fun and interesting. But here's the problem with karaoke is that there's those people who think that they're great. That's the problem with karaoke. And you got to say to yourself, well, and some people are great. Absolutely, some people can sing. But at the same time, those people who sing in karaoke and are good, they seem to think that they're supposed to get some sort of recognition from the people playing pool. Like people are going to stop and clap. No, that's not the case. Karaoke is essentially you singing in your car, but you just have a big carpool of a bunch of people drinking and playing pool. That's it. So don't expect us to go, that was great. Unless you really fucking blow the doors off, then we'll say, all right, that was. I guess you have to compliment somebody at that point. Or buy them a Jaeger bomb. I don't know. But back in the early '90s when I went to karaoke, it's funny. I made a conscious decision to never go to karaoke again because I went one night and it was just not fun. It wasn't happening. I wasn't having a good time. It was just and it was a bunch of people because again, people who think they're good ruin it. Because karaoke should be about people who suck. That's the whole point. It's like it's a place to drop your inhibitions and sing in public, even though you're fucking terrible at it. And maybe I say that because I'm one of those people. I'm not one of the good people who keeps wants to sing and get a fucking pat on the head and apparently wants somebody to slip me $5. I'm one of the bad ones. So I made this decision in 1991. I was at a bar and we were at karaoke, and in my head I go, I'm never doing this again. And so you know what? I'm going to sing one more song, and it's going to be my farewell to karaoke forever. And so I went to the guy and I said, "Give me the catalog." I looked it up and I tried to find a song It's another thing too is if you sing a song that people don't like, they get mad. Like what? Again, I'm not your fucking radio here. I'm here singing what I want to sing. That's the whole point of having this huge catalog of things. And believe me, when you've got that catalog, I can't decide where I'm at on this because I feel you should sing songs that are ridiculous on their face. But then there's always somebody who unearths a chestnut that nobody's heard in public in 20 fucking years. And believe me, there's a goddamn reason for that. Okay, folks? I mean, it's always like some, closet case from Walmart who shows up and they're like, here's Devin. Devin's going to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh, great. Well, glad you could make it out of the closet for the show tonight, Devin. So inevitably, it's those kind of people, and that's fine, I guess. I mean, so here's what I did in '91. I looked at the catalog and I picked a song, and actually, I picked a song where the guy actually looked at me and went, "Are you serious?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm serious." So I picked it, and they called me. He's like, "All right, here's Mike," and I went up, and I had picked "I Write the Songs" by Barry Manilow. And I proceeded to sing it in the most obnoxious, loud, horrible, yelling, Bill Murray on Saturday Night Live type of way you could possibly imagine. Like, have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live sketches with Bill Murray where he sang Behind Closed Doors? That was one of my, it's fantastic. I mean, it's just this crazy over-the-top yelling, and that's how I did I Write the Songs. Because, again, I can't sing. And that song is an easy song to sing because it's like a speak-sing song. But then, again, you think that, and then you start singing it, and it's not easy because no song is easy to sing if you can't sing. That's the point. If you can't sing, no song is easy to sing. Sure, you can mouth the words in an order because they're written on the goddamn screen. It's as easy as reading. But it doesn't mean you're good at it. So I drove a stake through the heart of I Write the Songs to the point where people were covering their ears. I mean, it was that bad because I threw myself into it 1,000%. and just made sure because I wanted to do it. It was my farewell to this particular bar fun. It was like I'm done. I don't ever have to do this again. So, cut to now. Cut to fucking 18 years later, and I wind up going. And again, it's a pool hall, and there's people drinking and they're singing. And but I figure if I go, I gotta sing. We gotta have fun singing, right? So Karen picks a song. She goes and picks a song, and then I pick a song. And I picked Jamie's Crying by Van Halen because you know what? It's Van Halen. I know the words. It's easy. I can sing it because again, that's another thing in karaoke. If you know the words to a song, it's a lot easier because you're not like she saw the look in his eyes. You don't want to be reading it off the screen and sound like an idiot, I guess. But again, you shouldn't care. Again, I'm torn, folks. I don't know if you're supposed to be good or bad or happy or sad. Let's stay together, folks. That's I get the message that I bring to all of you. I don't know if you have to be good or bad, happy or sad, baby. Let's. All right, that's Al Green. So I should have done that song. So I pick Jamie's Crying, and then Karen picks a song, and she goes, "It's going to be a surprise, and then you have to sing it with me." I said, "Okay, cool." So for some reason, there was a million names ahead of us, and they're bringing people up, and they're singing, and they're all good, and they're all having a good time. And then one of the people in our group that I was with, because again, it's all burlesque people, and then me and Karen, and we sort of know these people. Lily is our conduit. Lily is our touchstone with these folks. So we show up, and they're like happy to see us, but then they break into their cliques of drinking, and Karen and I look at each other like, all right, well, we don't fucking know these people, really. This isn't fun. I mean, it's sort of fun, I guess. But then one of the girls in our group sings... See, I think if you're there with karaoke as a group, you should all be singing and having a good time and arms around each other's neck. Apparently, I want it to be an Irish pub or something. I don't know what I want. But again, I can tell you the karaoke in 18 years has not changed a bit. There's still the people who think they're really good. There's still the people who make a face at you if you're bad. It's just terrible. It's just an awful karaoke, a Japanese word which means my ears are bleeding. That's the bottom line. Again, has not changed in 18 years. So I'm there, and a friend in our group sings Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. And it starts, and that's one of those songs where I don't care if you can sing or you can't sing. If you're in the car, you're going to sing it. Okay? So this girl lines up and she's ready to sing. And the song, the little piano thing starts. And if you know the song, the opening part is there's a background like men and they go, turn around every now and then. And then the woman sings. So it starts with the turn around and I sang it. I just make loudly, like it goes ding, 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 and I just go turn around, and then there was another guy in the group, and I got my arm around his neck, and we start singing all the turnarounds, and as she's singing her song, she's having a great time, and she's really good at it, and she's got a great voice. But I think she's mad because we're singing Turn Around. And so people are like looking at us like, that's hilarious that you're singing Turn Around, not noticing that she's really a good singer. And again, I could be wrong about that. That's just me projecting, but it's like, it sure seemed like she was really into the song, and then we would go, turn around, bright eyes, and she would like kind of look, and she'd sing, whatever, it was terrible. But it was fun. That was the most fun I had, was singing that song. That was great. And then everybody went ahead and broke off into their cliques, and I was standing there getting like an idiot. So then I look at Karen, and I go, what song are you singing? She goes, you got to help me sing it. I go, okay, what song did you pick? She goes, I picked Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Elton John. And I go, are you fucking crazy? I go, honey, do you know how hard that song is to sing? And this is my favorite thing she's ever said in her life. And she goes, well, George Michael sang it. I go, oh my God. Yes, he did. He did it very well. You're aware that he's a singer, right? Like by trade? Like that's his job? So she's like, oh, well, yeah, it is. I go, dude, I will help you. But Karen, again, I got to tell you, and again, sometimes I treat my wife like a child, and I shouldn't do that. But I'm just looking out for her. I'm just trying to look out for her. But I say to her, I go, do you know how hard it is to sing that song? And also, do you know how long that song is? Because that's another thing. Total Eclipse of the Heart, 7.5 minutes long, and it's the entire song in karaoke, down to the musical bridge and the interlude. So I'm like, don't let the sun go down on me. We've got to build and hit the notes. And then I go, and the worst part of karaoke is when you pick a song that's out of your depth, and you realize you've still got 4 minutes left of that song. And you can't just give the microphone to somebody or give up. You have to kind of see it through. Oh my, it's the worst feeling in the world. If you can't sing, don't do karaoke. But if you can't sing, do karaoke, because that's who should be doing karaoke. I'm on the fence, folks. I can't decide how I feel about this karaoke. Here's how I feel. I feel I'll never go back. All right. So I tell Karen, I go, look, here's the deal. I go, I'll help you. I go, but that is a really, really hard song to sing. She goes, you're right. We should pick something else. So I go, okay. So we go in the back and she goes, do they have Cyndi Lauper? And I go, do you know how hard it is to sing Cyndi Lauper songs? Again, you're picking all these amazing singers. They're so difficult. And she's like, well, no, let's sing Time After Time. And I said, okay. I said, let's pick that. We'll try that. So she picked Time After Time. She changed her song. And then I had the catalog in my hand, and I changed Jamie's Crying to what I thought would be a cool song that a bunch of people would sing with me. Like, I thought it would be, like, again, I envisioned in karaoke, like, almost like, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, Righteous Brothers from Top Gun. Like, I picked a song where I thought a bunch of people would be like, I can't believe somebody picked this song. This is going to be fun to sing, and it's kind of a neat thing. So, Karen picks Time After Time, and her song comes up, and I help her sing it, and it was so great and fun. Karen did a great job. We did a great job with it. It was really cool. And actually, someone came up and was really nice to Karen. They were like, "Yeah, yay, go!" And they were like, "It was fun. It was great." So I was happy for Karen that it turned out the way it did. Then a few songs go, and then my song gets picked up. Now here's the song I picked, thinking that everybody would be like, "Yes, let's all sing this." Because again, I'm with a group of like 12 people. I figured let's have some fun. So I picked "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon. And I know what you're thinking. I think that song is about me. You're goddamn right I do. I picked that song at my wedding for my first for like my group dance. Like where they had a thing where everybody dances with the groom, everybody dances with the bride. I picked "You're So Vain" because again, I think that song is about me. It's fitting. It's about me. It's who I am. So I figured I would pick it at karaoke and everybody would jump on board. And I thought we were all going to sing it. It would be so because it seems like it would lend itself to a sing along, and also it's kind of I'm vain. I thought it was going to work. Nobody interested in singing the song with me. And again, it's that type of thing where I can't sing, so I plod through it, and nobody's helping, nobody's even noticing me. It's like now I'm just I'm an alarm going off that people can't hit the fucking snooze on because I'm terrible. I can't sing. So I thought it would be fun. Everybody would be like, "Yay!" No, I mean people are just like, "Get this song over with." Like I almost went up to the dude and went, "Turn it off, fucking turn it off. I'm done," because I don't like showing ass. I don't want to be a guy who's the laughing stock, or I need to be in control of a fucking situation. And if I undertake doing something that I'm not good at on purpose, and then people aren't joining along, like I was like, I just wanted to run. Literally, you want to just throw the microphone down and run out of the room and climb into a car and go home because you're a child. So it played Carly Simon. You walk into the party and I even gavoted when it said you watched yourself gavotte in the song. I did a gavotte, thinking, all right, everybody's gonna know what a gavotte is. Nope, nobody's. I'm not even paying attention. They're drinking. All the people in my party are like, staring at each other in compact mirrors and kissing, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I just meandered through the rest of it and booked. I was ready to just fucking run away. And then a girl in our group comes up to me and she's like, nice job. And I'm like, oh, I go, that was terrible. She goes, well, I didn't say it was good. I meant like nice job for getting through it. Oh, good. So now I've opened myself up to ridicule by that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking me out. Uh, and again, there's nothing wrong with busting balls. That's fine. I knew I sucked, but it was just because it was amplified because I didn't even want to be there in the first place. I thought it would be a fun thing, and instead it turned into a singing competition as karaoke often fucking does. You can't just have fun and yell and scream and sing. It's not like that. No, everybody's judging, and I don't like being fucking judged, folks. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can get me at MySpace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. You can get me at Facebook. Search me. People want to be my friend. I mentioned it last week. Search me through my email address, which is Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com on Facebook. Or you can search me if you go find Lily Von Stupp. LILIVONSCHTUPP. Find Lily Von Stupp, become her friend. Find me and her friends, become my friend. You get a 2-for-1 friend package there. So go ahead and do that. That'll be fun. Go ahead and review us in iTunes if you would. That'd be great. I appreciate the people who have and everybody who continues to do that. That's great. If you've sent me an email, I will answer it. Like I said, my schedule's been pretty jacked up, but with my wife out of town, I got nothing to do but answer emails. So that'll be getting done. Also, you guys can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com/store.asp and go ahead and purchase Skull Pie t-shirts. Those are I'm going to eat pie out of your skull t-shirts. And also, you can purchase the year one box set of the 40-year-old boy, which also has the artwork and the liner notes and things like that. And a listener, a very cool listener, has sent me a, unbelievably, they have cataloged the liner notes and grouped them into a document and made a table of contents with a reference, almost like a bibliography for the first year.
Wow.
It's amazing. I gotta. He's like, hey, do you think you could put this on your website or anything like that? And I don't know yet. I've got to admit, when I looked at it, I was fucking overwhelmed by it, and also part of me doesn't want to put it on the website because you know what? If you buy year one, you get it. I don't want it to be free for people. I guess that sounds weird, but I don't. I think it's rude to the people who bought year one to get the liner notes and stuff to all of a sudden now print the liner notes on my website. So I'm still up in the air on what to do with it, but I can tell you I appreciated the effort and thought it was outstanding and amazing what he did. And maybe I'll send it out to the people who bought the show if people are interested. I have no idea. Who knows what people want? People if people aren't returning year one by now, I don't know why. So yeah, so go ahead and go to the store at MikeSchmidtComedy.com and pick up year one and pick up the Skull Pie T-shirts and pick up the 40-year-old Muchacho nipple bells. Those will be out eventually. You can go ahead and buy those. Those will be fantastic. And what else? Facebook. Also, I have a P.O. box. If you guys want it because you want to mail me stuff, go ahead and write me, and I'll give you the P.O. box and let you know what's happening. And also, don't forget the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Go to the Monday Night Teas every Monday night and check. I will say I'm hosting in July because people have asked me when I'm going to be back there. I will be hosting it in July. They'll be doing a Quentin Tarantino theme show, which they did last year, which was very successful. So they're going to do it again this year, and I'm going to be involved. So once that gets closer, I'll tell you the date for sure. But every Monday you should go to the Monday Night Teas just to see this amazing burlesque and theme show this week. No, yes.
Not this week. This month for the 29th, of course, the military show.
It's not the 29th.
Or whatever it is, the 20 whatever.
Because I listened to last week's show last night with a calendar in front of me. The 29th is a Friday.
See, here's my problem. I don't have a job.
Come here. Come here. Say it again.
It's the 31st. I don't have a job, so I don't know what day it is. I barely managed to remember. It's
No, the
Wednesday.
31st is a Sunday.
Oh, then it's the 25th.
Yeah.
May 25th is the Memorial Day military show.
So it's on Memorial Day.
Yes.
Okay, so on Memorial Day, there will be a Memorial Day military show.
I'm hosting in Dress Blues.
Okay, really?
Yes.
Dress blues with a white stain on there, Lewinsky style, probably?
No.
I don't, no, that's right, you don't dribble. All right, so she'll be hosting that night. But so come out to the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs. And also make sure you write Lily, our friend Lily, Lili at burlesque411.com. Write her a note so she can send you a picture or perhaps an autographed bell of some sort. She will go ahead and do that. She's the 40-year-old Mija, right? Yeah, I think so. All right, I don't know how it works, but this is the Mijos, Mijas, and Muchachos. All right, I think I've covered it all, right? And then what's I don't know. I don't know any other languages. I have no idea. So again, go to the store and buy year one and buy shirts. Review us in iTunes and send us emails. I'll answer emails, and that's I guess. Literally, I didn't know what else to say, but she pointed at the camera. So remember that YouTube will feature another companion video for this week's The 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. It is the completely unnecessary 90-second nonsense of video that I just felt like I needed to do so I could have a presence on the web. It's like I make fun of Twitter, but eventually I'll be doing that. Once it starts to fizzle out, then I'll go ahead and jump in when no one cares. Because I guess I like the idea of Twitter if you're busy. Like, that's the thing. If you're busy, I like the idea of Twitter. But if you're just sending people, making a sandwich, nobody fucking cares. But if you got stuff going on, like, comedian Jim Norton was on Twitter. Like, Karen is on Twitter. So she's like writing notes to Paula Abdul and Mariah Carey. Yoko Ono answered her, like actually wrote Karen back. And by the way, when I say Yoko Ono answered her, I mean whoever the white guy Yoko Ono has hired to Twitter for her answered her. Because I'm sure that, she's very busy with the Plastic Ono band and trying to get Paul McCartney to break up with whoever he's with right now. But, so I guess if you're busy, I can see the idea of Twittering. I think that makes sense. But if you're not busy, which I am not, there doesn't make any sense to Twitter. So I right now we'll just communicate via the 900 fucking things that I already communicate to you with Facebook and everything else. So that's fantastic. But on YouTube, there will be a companion piece, a video piece this week. And God knows what it's going to be, because I sure don't. I can assure you that it'll be pointless. I can tell you that. But thank you to all the people who subscribed on there and sent me messages. And it's funny, one person last week, a guy, because I said that I wanted someone to just put a video response that said hi, and that's what they did. Literally, it's a 5-second video response to last week, and it just a guy going, "Hi, Mike, how are you?" So I almost put a response that just said, "I'm fine." But then you know who I am then? I'm the idiots in the theater texting each other 5 feet away, moron. All right. I'll tell you. This is all right. This happened. I'm at work. I'm in the office. I gotta get my life together, folks. I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm doing. I'm at that gig, and I show up on because I work on like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I get there Saturday night, and I go to throw something away. I turn around. There's a garbage can behind me, like an office, and I turn around, and in the garbage can is a Playboy magazine.
Awesome.
And it's the one with Lisa Rinna in it. Like it's just in the trash. So I look at it and I'm like, well, I can't fish it out of the trash and look at it. First of all, I've already seen Lisa Rinna online. I mean, there's no point in even looking at it. Plus, part of me thinks if someone has discarded pornography, they've left some sort of DNA sample on that pornography, and the last thing I want to do is turn to that page and just go, oh, great, thanks. Someone ran off a batch and left it here in the magazine. So, but then here's what happens: the person during the day who's there is like a 70-year-old woman. All right, and she's there on Monday through Friday. So I look at the Playboy in the can and I think to myself, all right, well, she didn't throw it in there because obviously the guy from the night before Friday night, and there was nobody there Saturday day. So it's been there since Friday night. And now I think to myself, I don't want to leave it in the trash because I don't want the 70-year-old woman to come to work on Monday and go, oh, I can't believe that disgusting guard threw the Playboy in there. Who was it? Mike. So then I think, all right, well, I got to fish it out of there, right? So, because I can't just leave it, because it's right on the top. It's like Playboy, like the bat signal with a rabbit on it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't just go ahead and leave this in here, because then all of a sudden I'm going to look like a perv who beat off all night, even though the guy before me was obviously a perv who beat off all night. So now I don't want to take the hit for that, so I got to scoop it out. So then I took it out, and I'm like, but I couldn't bring myself to just throw it away, because I wanted to look at it and read it and look at the chicks. And I'm like, well, you can't do that, because just in case there's something horrible in here, I don't want to open it up and turn the page. So then I took a pen, and I'm in Law and Order. I took a pen and I flipped open the magazine, like I flipped it open page by page, just like to not touch it, because just in case there was something horrible inside. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, all right, so I'm kind of like holding my distance. I should have had like a jeweler's loop or a reading glasses, but I'm like, and I got my nose in the air and I'm flipping it, and I take it and I flip the centerfold open, and then because it's a trifold, so I flip it and I see the girl, and then I flip the centerfold open. Just as two women come walking in from the goddamn parking garage. So then they look at me and they're like, hey, hi. And I have a naked woman. It's unfolded on the desk. So I wanted to avoid having it in the garbage so the 70-year-old wouldn't see it. But now I actually have the centerfold open in the middle of the night on the desk. And I'm doing it with a pen. Like, I'm not even doing it with my hands. I'm just kind of flipping it open. And I'm dissecting a frog in biology class. And these women walk in and I'm like, and they see. So now what the hell are you even doing? Are you playing a game with the centerfold weirdo to try to get a hard on? It makes no fucking sense. And sure enough, they walk in. And they might not have even seen the nudity part, but it's a centerfold because the way it's tri-folded open. And they look at me and they're like, hey, and they all get all weird. Hi. They immediately press the elevator button and it doesn't come right down and they got to check their mail. And I'm like, hey, ladies. And I go scooping it up and go to try to throw it away. And it's like, how do you escape from that? Because now that for us, they're going to go upstairs and talk about it forever. They're going to tell somebody. So I wanted to avoid the grandmother thinking I was a perv. But now guess what? The entire fucking building thinks I'm a perv. All because that guy couldn't be bothered to walk 9 steps to the goddamn dumpster and throw the Playboy away. He had to throw it away in the office. Are you kidding me? So then I get fucking busted. And I was just being, I was trying to be careful with it. I flip it open with a goddamn pen. All I'm trying to do is go, I'll take a look here and see what the centerfold looks like. Boom. 2 ladies. Of course they walk in at that moment. How did I not hear their goddamn car? How did I not hear them park and slam doors? Was I that concentrated on Lisa Rinna trying to look like the fucking Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate? What the hell is wrong with me? But goddamn it, sure enough, now I'm sure I'm going to get whacked from the gig. It's not even going to be my choice. Just like, Mike, you know what? Because eventually, that story's going to grow. It's not going to be just Mike got a Playboy out and was kind of working a pen. It's going to be, hey, we walked in and that guy was beating off on the desk. Of course that's where it's going to go. It's going to play telephone through all that entire fucking building, and sure enough, the next thing you know, dick, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a decent guy because I am a jerk, and I'm not a jerk. Man, I'm an awful guy. I'm not an awful guy. I am not a good guy, but I don't think I'm a bad person overall. So, and go ahead and by all means judge that. I'm kind of a jagoff. I got no future. What am I talking about? But I am a jagoff. And I'm not a jerk. I'm a nice guy. It's just I guess I have jerky tendencies. I've done so much ridiculous stuff, and then I wonder afterwards. I'm like, man, how come I don't hang out with anybody? Here's why: because you're a dick. You're finished. 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 You're finished.